The following is a production of Stevenson Media. What it do, H-Town? I'm Nick Stevenson, president of Houston Sports, and he is Ruben Calavillo, Mr. 713. This is episode 19 of the Twin Toros podcast. I want to thank everybody who's been supporting us this far. We're almost to our 20th episode. Ruben, once again, everybody who's been showing us love, it's been warmly reciprocated. Man, I'm having a good time doing this, and we're almost to 20 episodes, man. How you feeling?
Man, I am feeling blessed and highly favored. I am ready to go to war. I am ready for the Battle of Texas. I have been hating the city of Dallas even before I was in my daddy's nutsack. I am ready to go. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Rangers. I hate the Mavericks. I hate Mark Cuban. I hate everything Dallas. All your women are ugly. Right? You got no good weed over there. Everything about Dallas is horrible.
Yeah, rap music sucks. Y'all have no culture. Come on now.
No.
You're preaching to the choir, brother. I'm really looking forward to this.
Their culture is a buzz fade, Mexican Jordans. If you know what those are, you know what those are. Jean shorts, right? Jean shorts. Only people who can rock jean shorts are John Cena and Cowboys fans. And then they'll have themselves a throwback Tony Romo jersey. That's the culture that
Amen.
Dallas fans, and if they're not being annoying, then they're getting knocked out in their own stadium. So, I hate that. Dude, it's going to be a war there.
I'm going to tell you what, Ruben, if you're not from the city of Houston,
you don't understand
or Dallas, you don't understand, man. People on the outside looking in are always like, I don't understand. And you know who I can't stand more than anybody is those, I root for the Cowboys and the Texans people. No.
What's worse is Cowboys fans and Astros fans.
Yeah, them too.
That's a horrible mix, right? Let me wear my my Micah Parsons jersey with a Houston fitted. I'm like, dude, what is
You're
going
preaching to the choir,
here?
brother. I'm glad we're on the same page, bro. That's why we are the Twin Toros, man, of one mind. Listen, man.
Until we drown, man.
Absolutely.
That's it, man.
All right, Ruben. Our coordinator spoke to the media yesterday, and I heard the most profound quote that I've ever heard from Bobby Sloag yesterday. Ruben, did you know that football is football?
I didn't know that.
It is. Bobby Sloag said so. And listen, man, I get what he was trying to say, but it just frankly sounded dumb. And I get it. It's probably really difficult when you're a football person and you're talking to a group of people who largely don't really understand the nuts and bolts of what you do. And I don't want to say he came off condescending because I didn't think it was that. I just think he was trying to maybe dance around giving a nuts and bolts answer because maybe the people he's speaking to, I don't know, maybe he thinks they're not going to understand it. But he said when he was asked about adjustments because of their issues with second half and not being able to score, I believe it was Lindsey Locker actually who asked him like, what changes?
Yeah.
And he says, really nothing changes. Our approach is no different because football is football. And basically what he was trying to say is like, hey, we're playing football in the first half and we're having success. So we're still playing football in the second half. We just got to continue doing what we did well. Well, you've mentioned this many times, man. You obviously have to make adjustments. And he said that they make small adjustments, but overall the big picture doesn't change. If you listen to Bobby Sloag, I already know you're on the fire Bobby Sloag train.
Not fire him, but take away play calling duties.
Okay. We discussed that in depth last episode, man. And I got to tell you, man, it probably feels or sounds like I'm flip-flopping on this.
Oh, that's fine.
But it's like last week, I found it really hard to defend him. But I want to, after I've had some time to kind of sit on it and think about it, I'm off the fire Bobby Sloag train. He's definitely on the hot seat, though. What did you think about what he and Matt Berg had to say yesterday, if you watched those interviews? And how are you feeling about the chances of us seeing something different against the Cowboys on Monday night?
Yeah, also in that point, D'Amico Ryans talked about how, they are adjusting every single play. So, when he brought up the second half adjustments, look, I understand that. And, Bobby comes from PFF, so he's a very smart guy. He's probably always been the smartest guy in the room. So maybe the communication levels, maybe they do seem off. but I'm pretty sure they come from a good heart. But with Bobby, right, when you hear him saying that, yeah, we do adjust, you say, where? When numbers don't lie to us, Nick, and we're not as football savvy as Bobby Slowick, but from what the numbers have told us, the adjustments in the second half, well, there is none. When you average only 8 points in quarters 3 and 4, when
Mm-hmm.
you haven't scored 7 in the last 4 weeks, that is a problem. That is not adjusting. The people that are adjusting is the defensive side of the ball,
Right.
because what worked horribly for them in the first quarter, they fixed it, and we are seeing this Houston Texan offense struggle. You know, it also feels like you mentioned, they're dancing around the fact that this offense, it's just not good.
Yeah.
And like D'Amico Ryan said in his cup of coffee interview with Vandermeer and John Harris, we're taking the stairs, we're not taking the escalator, right? Remember what he said in the beginning: we got to get better every single day, 1%. In now the timeline's starting to shrink. Now we can see the playoffs coming.
Right.
So the Houston Texans, the offense, because that's the only thing I believe is holding back this team. The second half offense is holding back this team. They got to get it together, man. Before we are talking about another disappointing into a season.
Yeah. And you're going into a situation this week. We all know the added, I don't want to say the added pressure for the fans,
Oh, it's
between the
there,
war between Houston and Dallas. Houston
bro.
fans want to win this game very, very badly. Every time the Texans and the Cowboys play, it doesn't matter what their records are. It doesn't matter who won the last game. Like, it's going to be a
No,
war
it
every
does
time.
not.
We've seen
Dude,
fights in the parking lot. We've seen fights in the stands. So for the coaches though, and I saw D'Amico Ryan say this, for them, they have to treat it as it's just another game.
but it's not.
For us, it's not for sure. But if they,
For our
I don't know.
owners,
Do you want to see
it's
your
not.
players? If let's say you own a franchise, and you want to bring in guys who I guess reflect your personality, your mindset, your vision. Would you want your players to be swept up in that a little bit, like the rivalry of Dallas, Texas?
I mean, why wouldn't you, right? This is the Lone Star State, baby. The only things that are constant in Texas are jail, football, and death.
Mhm.
And it's been that way since the dawn of time. So of course I would want my players to, kind of buy into the Texans versus Cowboys the same way our Houston Nationals care about that silver boot, them going against the Rangers.
Yeah, buddy.
So, it is a rivalry, man. And, when you look at Jerry Jones, as petty as they come,
Hmm.
Cal McNair, Hannah McNair. Well, from Hannah, we see how petty she is when she talks about the Tennessee Titans, or have you think of Cleveland Brown today, about
Right.
the Deshaun Watson. She's petty, bro. So of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
I think that this is a huge game for the Houston Texans. Um, Not only do we want to win this game, Nick, but we need to dominate this game, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I do not want to see Kaimi Fairbairn go out there and kick a game-winning field goal. There is no Dak Prescott. They have not won a game at home at all this year, or maybe at least one. This is the Houston Texans' opportunity to embarrass someone on primetime football, not the other way around. And,
Yeah.
you said D'Amico Ryans talked about how this is just another game. I don't believe that. I think your season's on the line in this game, Nick.
Mm.
I really do. If you,
You make a
Lord
point.
forbid, knock on wood, let's say you lose to Dallas. This is not the team we thought it
Hmm.
was this season. It probably won't go the way we thought it was going to go. You lost to a team that is on a slippery slope.
Yeah.
How can you bounce back from that?
Yeah,
Right?
and aside from that, you haven't put away the Colts yet, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
They're still on your
Unfortunately,
trail. You beat them twice, so you have the tiebreaker. But yeah, I think you lose this game, you go 6-5. Now all of a sudden,
someone's
the
getting
pressure,
fired.
the
If this
pressure's
offense struggles,
yeah,
someone's gonna get fired, man. Like, when it's kind of crazy because you don't want to get into firing in year two, right? I hate to throw around the word fire, but
yeah.
you talk about
That just felt
opportunity windows, man.
that
And
just
you
feels
have
like a.
one right
I'm sorry.
now, right? You
Yeah,
have one right now.
that just feels like a move that bad teams do, right? It just like good teams don't fire their coaches in the middle of the season.
Okay. No, I mean,
Usually they don't.
so the guy I'm talking about is Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we go out there, we put up 24 in the first half,
Mm-hmm.
nothing in the second. Let's say
Man, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, "Well, we put up 24 in the first half.
no, dude.
We
I
we
think
just
the
got to be
vibe
more
will be much
consistent."
different, bro. I really do think the only way you can really come out with a confident, feeling is
Yeah,
if you put this team away.
yeah, for
And
sure.
and you should, right? You should be able to end the Dallas Cowboys, regime that they thought they were going to
Yeah,
have in the last couple of years. You have Micah Parsons who's talking about the head coach. You have CD Lamb who is getting, blinded by the sun. Like everything is going wrong
yeah,
in Dallas right now. And it will be an exclamation point, bro. You walk into Jerry's world and you run for 150 with Joe Mixon, CJ Stroud gets Nico Collins back, and they start doing Nico Collins and CJ Stroud things. Then it's all
yeah.
systems go. Let's get better 1% every day. Man, but I do feel like this is a trap game though, buddy.
It's
I do
it
feel
kind
like
of
it.
feels like that for sure. So the Texans are actually favored by 7 points last time I
7
checked.
points, yeah. It was 8, and now it's
Yeah.
down to 7. So still a wide margin.
Let's talk about some of the challenges that the Cowboys can face, and I'll let you tell me if you feel like these are challenges that the Texans can still overcome. Number one, Micah Parsons is back. Micah Parsons is a beast, bro. And the idea of him versus this offensive line, frankly, scares me a little bit, to be honest with you. Um,
I like his
for the
matchup
first
against
time,
Laramie though.
yeah, for sure. But for the first time all season, we saw CJ Stroud's name on that injury report. Something going on with his right hand. He was full participant in practice,
Yeah.
so I don't think it's anything major. But I think those hits are starting to add up, man. So that's
Second
kind
most
of
sacked quarterback in the league behind
yeah,
Caleb Williams, bro. Of course, man. This is why, Nick. I would like I like my alarms were ringing 3 weeks ago,
mhm,
seeing this young guy consistently being just tackled and sacked, and I'm like, they're gonna start adding up, right? And then we saw it, unfortunately, in the
yeah,
second half against Detroit.
yeah. So, you're absolutely right. When Parsons goes up against Laramie Tunsil,
It's not,
Laramie Tunsil wins pretty much every time. So I'm happy with that. But I'm assuming they're probably going to move Micah Parsons around
of course.
to try to take advantage of some other matchups for sure. The idea of CD Lamb versus a injured Derek Stingley Jr. and possibly no Kamari Lassiter, that does concern me a little bit. But who's going to be throwing him the ball? That's the question.
Yeah, who's going to be throwing him the ball? And Derek Stingley, man, has been locked down. Last week against the Detroit Lions was only thrown at once by the best offense in the NFL.
Mhm.
That just should show you how much respect he has, from offensive coordinators. Him against CeeDee Lamb is going to be, it's going to be must-watch TV. And I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you one thing. If Derek Stingley shuts down CeeDee Lamb, we're going to have to start thinking about, that paycheck coming in the offseason.
Yeah.
But Derek Stingley has had a fantastic year. He's been healthy, which we've asked. And
Yeah.
outside of that, first half touchdown, from Booty, we've been on Derek Stingley, man. He's been locked down.
Yeah. So he's got a little bit of a hip. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Mm.
Let me ask you this though: the Cowboys do like to move CeeDee Lamb all over the field. Do you think that Stingley's going to be following him?
I would say if it becomes an issue,
Okay.
then we put
Because the idea
Derek
of CeeDee
Stingley.
Lamb against Jalen Petrie scares the crap out of me, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Let's
But
get a
we
crap out
saw,
of you.
yeah, we saw something similar. I'm not going to say it's the same offense, but the Vikings moved around Justin Jefferson a lot, and other than one really big play from him, I thought the Texans did a pretty decent job. So this is a situation where the Texans are favored for a reason. They should win this game. The question is, do you think they'll cover the spread?
Well, I mean, that's one of my keys to the game is winning convincingly, man. I don't
Mhm.
want to see another Kaimi Fairbairn field goal. I don't want to see the Houston Texans defense having to have a standoff moment late in the fourth quarter because Cooper Rush is moving the ball down
Yeah,
the field. Like, I need to see a convincing Houston Texans win against a team that is just not playing good football right now. The
yeah,
Dallas Cowboys are huge disappointments after what they accomplished last season. They paid their wide receiver, they paid their quarterback, and now look at where they are. So I am challenging the Houston Texans to play 4 full quarters of football, beat their ass, leave no doubt. Like, this is your moment on prime time to show everyone, because you had 2 opportunities the past 2 weeks and you crapped the bed. This is your opportunity on Monday night to show, hey, we're still here. We're
Yeah.
still contenders. And no one will talk about you being a contender if you win by a field goal or if you score 0 in the second half.
Yeah. Very, very, very true. I could see a scenario. We'll get to our score predictions in a second. I could see a scenario where the scoreboard can appear to be a dominating win because of this defense. This defense against this Cowboys offense playing against, I'm assuming, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, some combination of the two.
And they both sucked.
Yeah, they're both terrible. They're both terrible. And D'Amico was really nice to talk about Cooper Rush the way he did, because he can't come out and say this dude sucks, but they're not good. So this defense is going to ball out. The question is can the offense take advantage? One of my keys to the game is get turnovers. That's obvious, but score off of those, because this defense keeps handing the offense the ball, sometimes in the red zone, and they still don't get a touchdown. So they're going to have to get some turnovers. We probably need to see the defense actually score in this game. I talked about the defense.
Like, we need that, man.
Yeah, I talked about the defense needing to be perfect against the Lions last week. And, they were close to it for a while. I mean, they got 5 interceptions. Like, what else can you ask for? But the defense didn't score. And when I was comparing them to the 2000 Ravens, that's another thing that the 2000 Ravens did often, is they put up points on the board as well. I feel like the defense needs to score some points to help this Texans team win going throughout the rest of the season, until we see this offense. And Nico Collins being back, let's not underestimate the impact that that's going to have. Nico Collins and Joe Mixon have only been on the field together for a game and a half? Mm-hmm. So Bobby Slowick now, I understand you're without Stephon Diggs, but you've got the running game. You've got a really good running back. Hopefully your offensive line can block for him. You've got your number 1 wide receiver back. Like, let's see some creativity on offense. And, we've been asking Bobby to coach as if he has a not good offensive line. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've seen that yet. Where are those quick hitting plays to Tank Dell? Stop doing the jet sweep, because that's not working. Stop doing the screen passes, because that's not working. Your tight ends don't block. Most of your offensive line doesn't block. Like, we just got to see something. And I think that's what the reporters and some of the fans are asking for. Maybe we're not all football savants who see the small little tinkering adjustments that they're making. We just see the result. And so when we see you run your 7th screen pass in a row that does not work, we just want to see something different.
We'll see a run on 1st and 10. It's 2nd and 9, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna run that bitch one more time.
I want to shout out to my good buddy Chris Rivers, who's been watching our show.
Shout out to Chris Rivers, man.
Yeah, Chris Rivers called me up last week after our last episode, and he was like, he's not a Texans fan. He's actually a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but he's a good friend of mine. He supports the show. I know, right? And so he was talking about Bobby Slowick, though, and he kept bringing up the same point that I had been making, is like, if you have a trash offensive line, you can't do anything. And when we were talking specifically about running the ball in third down situations, especially when you're in field goal range, he brought up a very good point. He says, if you know that your offensive line is trash and they're not going to be able to protect your quarterback in 3rd and long, especially when you're in field goal range, why would you not run the ball when you have Joe Mixon? At least you have an opportunity to maybe break a 10, 11 yarder, get that first down. But if you drop back to pass, you run the risk of getting your quarterback sacked and then putting you out of field goal range. And so I do. Name? What's that?
What's your boy's name?
Chris Rivers.
Mr. Chris Rivers. We've seen both things happen. We've seen the Houston Texans offense been sacked out of field goal range, and we've seen them try to run the ball have been kicked out of field goal range. So, I mean, I do agree with you in that sense, but I mean, either way, the Houston Texans are messing up as soon as they get past the 50-yard line. Then I think, I don't know if it was Landry or Cody Stutes who brought this up, but talking about how we put too much faith in Kaimi Fairbairn.
Yeah.
That because he can boom it from 50 plus from anywhere, right? We are more than comfortable with settling for 3 once we get past.
We've seen him shank a couple of 55 plus lately.
It's hard to hit.
It's hard
those,
to do,
man.
especially, and you know what I've noticed? It's when he's outside or when our roof is open. When the roof is closed, there's no conditions, he's money.
Money.
But they keep asking. And listen, man, when you get to the playoffs, I hate to say it, you're 6-4 right now. You're probably only going to be playing one home game in the playoffs. So you're going to have to find a way to win those games outside in the elements. And it's probably going to be cold towards the end of the year. Whether you're playing in Kansas City, Baltimore, so it does concern me the amount of pressure that is on Kaimi Fairbairn to boom it from 55 plus every week.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked about this. I mean, that's kind of the mentality of D'Amico Ryans. Like, he's cool kicking a field goal and playing defense. I think the third down call problem that Bobby Slowick has, well, it's starting with first and second down. If you be better on first and second down, then you're not even in that situation to have to make that difficult call, right? So, yeah, we definitely need to see and the Texans are in the first half and the second half, just two completely different teams, man. So,
which is
we get
why
it, Bobby.
The Cowboys, bro.
We get it, Bobby. Football's football, but play better football in the second half, buddy. That's all I got to say.
No, man, and that's why when you look at this Monday night matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, you see that, their front four, yes, they did get Micah Parsons back, so that's a big bust. I'm sorry, that's a big added piece. They get back their linebacker Overshown from University of Texas. He has been playing lights out. So they still have stars on the defensive side of the ball. They also have an all-pro corner who is going to be going up against Nico Collins. So I have no doubt that we're going to put up points in first and second, man. It's going to be about the second half, and that's what it's always going to be about for me for the rest of this season, because they're on suspect watch, right? Yeah. If you've shown me through 10 games that you're having problems in quarter 3 and 4, then for the rest of the 8 weeks, I'm going to just feel like you have a problems in quarters 3 and 4. So that's what I feel like, I'm watching in this game. Joe Mixon, we talk about how special he is. However, when we run the ball, bro, we're inefficient. Yes, Joe Mixon is getting these 100-yard performances, but he's getting 20-plus carries, to get that number. Against the Dallas Cowboys, their run defense is not good. Even though they get back Micah Parsons, he is not good in stopping the run at all. You run at Micah Parsons. That's how bad he is.
Because he's trying to get to the quarterback every play.
He's trying to get to the quarterback. He's going to be a future Houston Texan in a couple of years. Joe Mixon, right? You just gave him the captain patch. He is going to have to show why he is the captain. And, when he said we're playing not to lose, I think that's a message that he's, trying to send to the coaching staff that, we're not aggressive. We're not firing like we should be. So maybe we do see that, this Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys. On the offensive side, I mean, what is there to talking about? Cooper Rush is going up against an elite defense who just picked off Jared Goff 5 times.
Yeah. You reminded me of two things. Number one, I'm so disappointed we're not going to see the Diggs brothers go at it. That's unfortunate, man. That's really, really tough. I was looking forward to that all year. Number two, the running game. The good news is, we hope it's good news, Dameon Pierce was back in the practice, full participant. He was been dealing with a groin. Him and these soft tissue injuries are starting to worry me a little bit, though, man.
Fortunately, man, you got to go get a new backup running back in the offseason.
I think so. Because he's had promising moments, obviously, but what kind of cliche, best availability or ability is availability. So those are two things I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully, the running game can get going. Let's talk about it, man. Texans are 7-point favorites. Give me your score prediction. What do you think is going to happen on Monday Night Football?
I'm going to go 27-14. I'm going to go 27-14. The Houston Texans, they don't get to 30, but they get damn close, and they're going to get there with 27. Their offense is going to put up points in the second half. I'm going to go 20 points in the first half, 10 points in the second. I'm going to go a field goal in the third and a tutty in the fourth, right? And then we stop bitching and moaning about the, about the second half performances.
Please get a touchdown in the second half.
Please get a touchdown in the second half. Break the streak, because if you have, this is what I'm saying.
I'll take a defensive touchdown if we have to.
If you still barely survive this game, should we be excited?
Yeah, probably not. I think they're going to cover the spread. The Texans have not been good against the spread this year, to be honest with you. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys can score 14 points on the Texans defense. I'm calling 20-10. Uh,
20. That's fantastic. That
20 to 10.
I'll take a 20 to 10. That's
Hopefully, you don't score all 20 of those points in the first half in this scenario. Uh, but yeah, I think 20 to 10. I just think the defense is going to be too much for this Dallas Cowboys team. Now, here's the thing: we know prime time, Monday Night Football in Jerry's world. You're going to get your best.
They know about prime time.
You're going to get your best effort from this Cowboys team, though. You do know that. So the Texans, hopefully, listen, I'm sure they're not taking this game lightly, because if they are, then they are not the team that we thought they were. You go in there, like you said, you hope that they dominate. I would love to see that. CJ Stroud's been talking about just kind of getting back to the simple, just playing ball, because I think in his second year, Bobby Slowick actually kind of mentioned this, how he's learned so much that now he's seeing everything, and maybe it's an information overload, and he's got to get back to just keeping it simple. See your read, make the throw, and move on to the next play. So hopefully, I would love to see CJ have a good game. When I brought up the keys to the game, it's the same thing we've been saying. Run the ball, protect CJ. For the love of God, please protect CJ. And then I talked about get turnovers and score off of those turnovers. So
and adjust in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. So 20 to 10 Texans. I got it. I'm going to predict they score a touchdown in the second half finally as well. So, and I think 20 to 10, maybe, it's not that 30 burger that we want. I think it would be a step in the right direction, man. You got a game you got 2 games versus the Titans coming up. You have an opportunity to make some hay. You can't lose this game, though. This is one that you got to get, because those last couple of games of the season against the Chiefs and the Ravens, you want to have some padding between you and the Colts when you go into those games, because you don't know what's going to happen in those games. Right now, the Texans will not be favored to beat either of those teams, I'm sure.
Yeah. So you got the Dallas Cowboys, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, then you got the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
Then you go into what I've been calling murderous row. Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, all within 10 days of each other. Then you have a Week 18 matchup to finish off the season against Tennessee. So you have an opportunity, man, to have 4 W's next to your name. Hell, if you could steal one from the 3, I mean, we're feeling very confident.
I like the chances against Miami. Yeah. I think the Miami game's a must get, because I just don't see this team beating.
Baltimore.
What's that? Oh, if we beat Baltimore, I'm sorry. I know Joe said we use we too much, but I'm going to say we when it talks about this game. We can beat Baltimore.
We at all today?
What's up? Like, we've weed a little bit. We be weeing, man. We're speaking French out here. We. No, but if the Texans can beat Baltimore, I mean, come on, man. Baltimore is the number 1 defense, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. Lamar Jackson's balling out of his mind. Derrick Henry, man, yeah, man. I'm telling you, if the Texans can find a way to win that game in Baltimore, bruh, you can't tell me nothing. I think that would probably cure all the ills. You'll forget about. Oh, it is in H-Town, isn't it?
On Christmas Day, baby.
That's right. It is in H-Town. I'm thinking about Kansas City's on the road. Yeah, man. I think you win that game, and the Jets game, they don't care about that. Everybody who's saying that the Lions game is burned into Texans memory forever, dude, we're not going to remember that game. All we need as Houston Texans fans, I don't care what your record is at the end of the season. Win more than 1 playoff game, and this season will be a success. I don't care if you go in, at 9. What is it? 9? It'd be 9-8, 10-7.
We go in 9-8 and make a run. I wouldn't know how to freaking feel. But it's possible when you have a defense like this, man.
That's what I'm saying. And the matchups could fall in your favor. Maybe you don't get Kansas City until an AFC Championship game. Maybe somebody's surprised. Okay, let me give you this scenario. Right now, Kansas City would have a bye, and who else would have a bye?
No, there's
only one bye. Okay, so Kansas City would have a bye.
Are we 3rd right now or 4th? Let me check.
Yeah, this is great.
Shout out to Bleacher.
Line Reddit. Yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to BetUS. Keep an eye on that line.
Yeah, BetUS, 125% bonus on your 150% bonus. I'm sorry, on your first deposit to $2,000. Currently, the Houston Texans are the 4th seed. 4th seed.
4th seed.
YouTube 150, by the way. 4th seed in the AFC. They were just the number 2 seed a couple of weeks ago. Crazy how things change. Kansas at 1, Bills at 2. However, if you somehow have the same record as them, you do own that tiebreaker. But the
Yep.
Bills are 8-2. Steelers 7-2. Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson, Mr.
The
Unlimited. They're
damn
playing damn
Steelers,
good
bro.
football.
I don't know how they do it, man.
Great coach.
Yeah.
Great coach who holds players accountable. He's never had a losing season. We know the thing about Mike Tomlin is he's, at some points he's never had that elite offense, right? Once he gets, that quarterback like he had with Big Ben,
It's been
then
years though.
you can consistently see those boys in the postseason. He got to Russell Wilson, and like I said, they're 7-2.
Yeah.
So
we gotta hope that that's the type of coach that DeMeco Ryan is gonna be.
And I think he is, man, because his defense is elite.
Mhm.
I mean, he might just suck at knowing what the hell an offense is. And that's fine.
But I don't think there's anybody. I think people underestimate. In order to play defense, you have to understand offense. And especially he was a middle linebacker. He was always the Mike. He has to know what everybody on his defense is doing, but he also has to completely understand what he's looking at on offense. So I think that's a little bit overblown. Yes, he's defensive minded. I think he defensive minded coach is probably going to maybe be less aggressive on offense. But I think he understands offense. I think he knows what the offense is doing.
Where we're like, here's a play sheet. Go out there, game plan for the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night and have you coach. So I just feel like, some people are better coordinators than they are head coach. That's okay. Once DeMeco gets that offensive-minded coach, man, ooh, boy, get ready, Nick. And I keep on having this dream.
That's why we got to beat. That's why we got to beat the Dolphins, man.
I'm glad you say that because I've been having a dream every single night of seeing Mike McDaniels on the sideline in a Houston Texans apparel. They
wearing all that weird drip
in one hand and a vape in another, and he's ripping blinkers and calling CJ Stroud touchdowns. Is that so much to ask for, Nick? But no, man, you see how how an offensive, a bright offensive coordinator can change an offense. Look what Cliff Kingsbury is doing with Jaden Daniels. So
we're gonna give you a chance though, Bobby. We're not calling for your firing this week. But all eyes are on you, buddy.
I mean, Bobby, if you don't put up,
you got to ball out this week.
How many points do you need to see from Bobby in the second half?
Man, at this point, the bar's kind of low. If they score, like you said, if they score a touchdown, I'll be happy. Like, can we get a touchdown? Can we get a touchdown in the third and one in the fourth? Is that too much to ask against the Dallas Cowboys? Especially if we're running the ball. I'm sorry, if they are running the ball really well. Can we please see 2 touchdowns in the second half? And if not in this game, in what game? Maybe the Jags, the Titans.
Oh, you're gonna destroy the Titans. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I mean, just got to find out and see, Pops.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the game, man, and I'm looking forward to us breaking down whatever happens. Hopefully, it'll be a jubilant episode 20. That will be on ESPN Houston this Tuesday, 7:30 on ESPN Houston's YouTube channel. If you guys are not subscribed to ESPN Houston YouTube, please go do that now and go ahead and put our Twin Toros playlist in your favorites, man. That way you don't miss a single episode. If you are watching from the ESPN playlist, please don't forget to follow Ruben Calvillo at 713 Houston Sports. He's on X, he's on IG, he's on TikTok. I will leave his link tree in the description so that you can find him wherever you get your podcast fix, wherever you get your Houston Texans content. He does it on the daily, man. That's why they call him Mr. 713. I am the president of Houston Sports, not because I'm better than you, but because I'm one of you, and I want to represent this city. Houston Sports.
That's so fucking funny.
Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. I do a weekly show. I talk all Houston sports. You'll find me on YouTube, on X, on TikTok. So you guys check out Houston Sports State of the Union. Check out 713 Houston Sports. We will continue repping H-Town till we drown. Ruben, what do you want to give the people, man, before we get up out of here?
We are H-Town till we drown. It is F Dallas. If your family member is a Dallas Cowboy for the rest of the 48 hours, 72 hours, they're not your family. It's not your mom. It's not your dad. It's not your girlfriend. It's not your brother. it is your enemy, and they want nothing more than to see you crying and disappointed on a Monday night. Do not let
Oh
that
my God.
negativity into your life, right? We hate Dallas. We know that. So let's go in there. Let's handle business. And if I was out there, first touchdown, I'm running down in the middle of the star and I'm planting the football down. I'm taking off my helmet. I'm planting it on the star. That's how, I don't even play with the Cowboys on Madden. Even when
Hell
I'm
no.
hell nah. Hell
Man,
nah.
I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
I got this buddy, man. People don't stay together nowadays, right? Boy, baby mama, he's a Texans fan. Guy she's with is a Cowboys fan. Baby was in the Cowboys onesie.
Oh, hell no.
Brother.
Hell no.
Brother. I wouldn't know how to I wouldn't know how to react.
Time out.
I would have taken her to court.
They put his baby in a Cowboys
a onesie, brother, with the booties on and everything.
No, bro, that's a violation.
Dude, that
is an absolute violation.
Dude, I have to shoot both the parents. I have to.
Oh man.
Can you?
No, I can't imagine. I can't imagine, bro. This is why
get married. There's no issues, right? But
I want to sign a petition. It's probably never going to happen. But the fact that the Texans and the Cowboys are not in the same division is a travesty. And I know it's because the national media believes everybody cares more about Cowboys versus Commanders, Cowboys versus Eagles, Cowboys versus Giants. I'm telling you right now, I'm a Texan. And the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are in the NFC East and the Indianapolis Colts are in the AFC South makes no sense to me. Give the Colts to the NFC East, Cowboys to the AFC South, and let's play the Texans every year twice, man.
No, what if they send us?
Or let's play the Cowboys every year twice.
What if they send us to the NFC?
Nah, it makes no sense. Why would Houston be in the NFC East?
That makes sense. But I think that my voice cracked. If they do add that extra game, which they're trying to do, I think that's a rivalry game.
Okay.
And that could be our yearly Texans versus Cowboys.
That would be great.
That would be cool.
Yeah. We need to do this every week, man. Hopefully there's minimum fights in the parking lot, minimum fights in the stands.
And then I'm going to say this to all my Houston fans who are going, dude, if you are going to go out there and plan on getting in an altercation, make sure it's not a one-on-one. Make sure it's not a one-on-one. Because
I thought you were going to say make sure you win. If you fight a Cowboys fan, you better win.
They like to jump. So what's going to happen is if you're going over there, be prepared and make sure whoever it is, no ones. We don't want no ones. No, sir. Right. It's 3 versus 1, and dude, even the woman there get crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So if I see a woman in a Houston Texans jersey, right, let me give you some advice. Grab this part of the collar, pull her in, right leg, sweep the left, throw her on the floor, elbow, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Done. Let me put this disclaimer. The Twin Toros are not responsible for any physical injuries that may occur on Monday Night Football at NRG Stadium. And we do not encourage violence, but we encourage protecting yourself at all times.
Bro, they fight everywhere, bro. They fight the 49ers. They fight the Rams. They fight the Raiders. Raiders fight.
I wouldn't fight a Raiders fan, bro.
The Raiders will fight the Colts if they want.
Oh, man, this is going to be a fun game, Ruben. It's going to be a fun episode after the fact. Like I said, hopefully we're talking about a dub. So much passion behind this episode because there's so much passion behind our love for the Houston Texans. Let's go get this dub. And we will see you guys on ESPN Houston at 7:30 on Tuesday evening. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you guys later. In the meantime, as always, stay 10 toes down for the H. We love you. Good night.